Genny Faces the Green Night, written by Gregory, illustrated by Lisette Duvenage.
Genny and Bug's Big Adventures.
Genny is sometimes shy and sometimes bold. She's sometimes still and quiet and sometimes playful. Sometimes she needs help, and sometimes she can do things all by herself. But there is one thing that Genny always is: adventurous. Today, Genny is on an adventure, riding the trails of the Old West. "Do you like my horse?" asked Genny. "His name is Chocolate. I named him Chocolate because that's one of my favorite things. Chocolate and I like to go on long rides together. Sometimes we go through high mountain passes where the snow is deep and the wind bites just like a barnyard dog. Sometimes we ride on the prairies under the hot sun where your throat gets so dry you can hardly open your mouth. And every now and then we ride the old dusty cowboy trails, just listening to the coyotes and singing songs."
Sometimes you can go on an adventure all by yourself. Sometimes with a friend, or other times with a whole group of friends. When Genny begins an adventure, she always brings her favorite toy. "I always bring Bug," says Genny. "I make extra sure I never forget him." Bug is very special to Genny. He is soft and cuddly, just like special toys that belong to other children. But he is special in other ways too. When Genny is on an adventure, Bug is always there to help. He is always at her side.
Other toys join Genny on her adventures sometimes, even though she doesn't like it very much. "You see those guys?" she said, pointing with her eyes to two animals on a high shelf. "That's Coyote and Raven. They often get in the way and mess things up. It's very frustrating, but I usually find a way to deal with them. When starting an adventure, it's important to get ready. One should always be prepared. What will you take with you? Will there be giants as tall as mountains? A fire-breathing dragon? A one-eyed troll that lives under a bridge?"
Genny always begins by preparing her backpack. She thinks hard about what her and Bug might need. Will they need water, a sword, a magic amulet, a snack for a troll? It's hard to know what you will need if you encounter a one-eyed troll that lives under a bridge, but it's a good idea to consider the possibility, just in case.
Bug has special things that he likes to take as well. "Bug always likes to wear his favorite cap," said Genny. "I can't forget his cap." The most amazing part about going on an adventure is that you don't always know for sure where you will end up. You might plan to go in one direction, and then your path may lead you someplace that you didn't expect. You might sail a ship on the South Pacific Ocean. You might explore the deep, dark Amazon rainforest. Or you might even take a rocket ship to another galaxy. You just never know for sure. The important thing is to just start. Point your toes and get moving. If your feet don't want to move, look at them sternly and say, "Feet, get moving." We start our adventures by crawling through this magic tunnel, said Genny. Where we come out is a mystery.
Genny held Bug up close and looked him in the eyes. "Are you ready, Bug?" she asked with excitement. Bug was ready. Genny put Bug on her back and started crawling. As they crawled further through the tunnel, it began to feel damp and cool. It was hard to see in the darkness, but Genny spotted a family of beetles walking across the path in front of her. She waited for them to pass and then continued. At last, they crawled out of the tunnel and stood up. A dark forest surrounded them.
"I wonder where we are," said Genny. "It looks like we are in the time of King Arthur and Queen Guinevere and the Knights of the Round Table," said Bug. "I don't know what that is," replied Genny. "Oh, it's very exciting," said Bug. "It was a long time ago. There were knights, magicians, magic lakes, and magic swords, and all sorts of mysterious, wonderful things." "And castles?" asked Genny. "Yes, castles too," replied Bug. "Like that one?" asked Genny.
"Wow," exclaimed Bug. "I hope we can go in that castle." "Me too," replied Genny. "You know what?" "What?" replied Bug. "It feels different here," said Genny. "It smells different. The air is buzzing." "I know what you mean," said Bug. "I feel it too."
As Jenny and Bug looked in amazement at the castle and knights, a horse came charging toward them. Riding the horse was a mysterious-looking person wearing a suit of armor. The large and powerful horse stopped directly in front of them and snorted. Jenny stepped back. The rider lifted her visor. "Do not be afraid," she said. "I am Queen Guinevere." "Who might you be?" "I am Jenny. I was a little afraid. I've never been this close to a real horse." "Who is your companion?" asked Queen Guinevere. "This is Bug," said Jenny. "At your service, my lady," said Bug, as he bowed to the queen. "I've brought a horse for you," said Queen Guinevere. "You can ride with me to my tent."
What Jenny and Bug did not know was that they were not the only ones seeking adventure today. If they had looked back, they would have seen, crawling out of the tree, those misleading, mischievous creatures, Coyote and Raven. "Caw, caw, let's follow them," said Raven. "We will have adventures too." But wait, this adventure got even more mysterious. Coyote and Raven did not notice that another character had followed them secretly through the tunnel. Silently, secretly, the masked figure watched their movements from behind a nearby tree.
"Are you really a queen?" Jenny asked Queen Guinevere as they were riding. "That sounds like an important job." "It is very important job," said Queen Guinevere. "I must make sure all of our people are safe and taken care of." Jenny was curious. "Safe? From what?" she asked. "There are strange things in these lands," said Queen Guinevere. "Mysterious things. My knights and I protect our people from all kinds of dangers. But enough of that for now. Here's my tent. Let's go inside and have some lemonade."
The lemonade was refreshing on a hot summer day when the sun was at its peak. As Jenny was about to take another sip, a young knight rushed into the tent. His face had a look of worry and anxiousness. "My queen," said the knight, "it's the Green Knight. He has returned." "Tell the knights to get ready," ordered Queen Guinevere. "I'll be right there." "Who is the Green Knight?" asked Jenny. "Only the most fierce, most powerful knight that ever was," said Queen Guinevere. "He comes out of the forest every year to scare our people."
As the queen turned to leave, Jenny said, "Can I help?" Queen Guinevere looked at Jenny, then at Bug, then back at Jenny. "Are you sure?" she asked. "I don't know if I'm sure," said Jenny. "But I'm sure that someone needs to do something." "There's a suit of armor in the corner," said Queen Guinevere. "Meet me outside when you're ready." Jenny had never seen a real knight before. The Green Knight looked especially scary and fierce. His voice shook the trees as he shouted, "Is there no one among you brave enough to face me in battle?"
"I will battle with you, Green Knight," said Jenny. Queen Guinevere looked at Jenny with concern. "The Green Knight is very powerful," she said. "I am powerful too," said Jenny. "If the Green Knight keeps scaring everyone, then he must be stopped. I want to help keep your people safe." Queen Guinevere put her hand on Jenny's shoulder. "You are a brave girl and a brave knight," she said.
"Come across this stream so that we may battle," Jenny said to the Green Knight. "I cannot, good knight," said the Green Knight. "You must cross." Jenny turned to look at Bug. "Is it safe?" she asked. "I don't know," said Bug. "It looks safe, but you never can tell for sure. I will tell you this, it will be scary at first, but you must try. And if you need help, remember that I am here." Jenny looked at the Green Knight, then she looked at the stream she must cross, and then she looked down at her feet. "Feet, get moving," she said to herself. Jenny summoned all her courage and took a step, and then another and another. She turned to look at Bug. "You're right, Bug," said Jenny. "It is a little scary at first, but I think it's getting easier."
"You are brave, young knight," said the Green Knight when Jenny had crossed the stream. "We shall see," said Jenny. "Young knight, no matter what happens, you are already brave. You are the one to cross the stream and face me." Jenny lowered her visor, raised her sword, and prepared for the challenge. Their swords clashed as they came together in a fierce battle.
As Jenny and the Green Knight were locked in battle, cunning Raven flew out of the dark forest with his own plans to have fun and adventure. The black, shimmering bird flew in circles around Jenny's head. "Get out of the way, you annoying pest," shouted Jenny. "Can't you see that I'm battling this powerful knight? You're making me frustrated." "That is no concern of mine," cawed Raven. "I will have adventure too."
As Genny stepped back to swat the annoying raven, who was now behind her, she tripped and fell. Queen Guinevere and the knights gasped. They feared the Green Knight would be victorious. "I will help you," shouted Queen Guinevere as she wreathed her sword and prepared to cross the stream. "No, milady," said Genny, "you must not cross. I must do this by myself." Queen Guinevere bowed and stepped back.
Genny stood slowly up. She looked down at her feet. She felt something tingling where her feet touched the ground. Just like a new sword pulled from the fire is made stronger each time the hammer strikes it, Genny could feel herself being made stronger. Boom, boom, boom. The newly made sword became more powerful with each strike of the hammer. Boom, boom, boom. Genny became more powerful. From the tips of her toes to the hairs on top of her head, she turned to face Raven. "If it's adventure you want, Raven, you shall have it," she said. As Raven approached her once again, Genny swatted at the bird with her sword, clipping its wing. "Caw, caw," squawked the startled bird. "We shall meet again," said Raven as he flitted through the air and vanished among the trees.
As Genny was about to face the Green Knight once again, who do you think crept out of the trees? That's right, Coyote. Silently, shyly, he glided towards her, circling, snarling, and nipping at her heels. "Don't bother me now, you silly coyote," shouted Genny. "I will have my own adventure," Coyote snarled.
It looked like Genny was in trouble. With the powerful Green Knight in front and mischievous Coyote lurking behind, how could she possibly defeat them both? At the very moment it looked most grim, a mysterious masked figure sprang from the trees and came to Genny's aid.
He stood next to Genny and exclaimed, "Coyote, that is all the adventure you will have today. Run back into the forest from where you came." Fearful of the masked character, Coyote did just that. He let out a yelp, tucked his tail between his legs, and darted back into the trees as quickly as he could. Once Coyote was gone, the masked figure stood tall beside Genny. "Green Knight," he exclaimed, "prepared to face the combined power of the Phoenix and this noble knight." The Green Knight answered, "And you, Phoenix, if that is what you call yourself, prepare to be defeated." The Phoenix and Genny raised their swords and prepared to battle the powerful Green Knight together. The battle was fierce. The Green Knight was a strong and mighty knight. The battle lasted for hours as Queen Guinevere and the knights watched and cheered for Genny and Phoenix. Swords clashed and knights shouted. Genny fell once, and it looked like the Green Knight might win, but Phoenix helped her get up, and together they continued the battle.
At last, the end came. Genny and Phoenix were too strong for the Green Knight. "Enough! I surrender," said the Green Knight as he fell to his knees.
"Rise and remove your helmet," said Genny. The Green Knight stood up and took off his helmet. "Why do you scare these people and always want to battle with them?" asked Genny. "I did not want to scare anyone," replied the Green Knight. "I only wanted to find someone who's brave and honorable. I have finally found that person. What is your name?" "I am Genny." "Genny, you have something very special," said the Green Knight. "I do?" asked Genny. "You have courage, the most special thing of all," said the Green Knight. "It took courage to cross that stream and face me." He kneeled, put his hand on Genny's shoulder, and said softly so only she could hear, "Never forget how courageous you were today." Then he sprang onto his horse and disappeared into the forest. Genny was curious to know who the masked stranger was who came to her aid. Just who was this new ally who called himself Phoenix? "Who are you, and where did you come from?" she asked.
"I am Phoenix," he replied. "My home is there," he said, pointing toward the forest. "Thank you for helping me," said Genny. "I will be here when you need me," replied Phoenix. He removed an object from the hilt of his sword. It looked like a large coin with a strange-looking bird on it. Take this, he said, handing it to Genny. This amulet has magic powers. When you need my help, hold it in your hand and say these words. From deep within the ancient forest, near the magic waters of the healing lake, I summon thee, Phoenix, to my aid. Your vow to me do not break. Thank you, Phoenix, said Genny. I look forward to our next adventure, replied Phoenix. His cape flashed as he turned and vanished among the trees.
Genny crossed the stream and returned to Bug and Queen Guinevere. My knights and I are forever thankful for what you did today to help us, Queen Guinevere said. I am happy that your people do not have to be afraid anymore, replied Genny. Bug and I have to go now. I hope we meet you again one day. I would like that very much, said Queen Guinevere. Next time I will show you my castle. Goodbye.
Back in her room, Genny searched for someplace special, someplace safe to keep the magic amulet. She had a small box that was perfect. She took it down from the shelf and gently placed the amulet inside. It will be safe there, she said to herself. Do you find special things on your adventures, said Genny? Do you have a special place to keep them safe?
Thank you for coming on an adventure with me and Bug, said Genny. Were you a little scared? I was a little scared sometimes, especially when I was crossing the stream and when I got up too close to the Green Knight. I tried to be brave. I felt proud when it was over, knowing that I did my best to help Queen Guinevere and her people. Will you come on an adventure again? I hope so. Bug hopes so too. Goodbye.
The end. Genny faces the Green Knight.